From Lalate News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings Lalate.
It's a big morning of Mornings LLA with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. Live from Santa Monica. In this recording, we'll go over that $3.5 trillion recon pass. This is huge because this recon is going to have a lot of checks in there for you that have now been passed, and you'll be getting upwards of $15,000 from what's now been passed. Hazard pay, elder care in cluster number 1. Cluster number 2 passed, including home repairs. Cluster number 3 passed, including checks for seniors, with a world exclusive you're going to hear in this recording about those checks for seniors. Then everything that's staying in those clusters, staying put, says the progressives. But will they maybe making changes? I'll explain the details and what Maxine Waters has to say about this as well. Then we turn to the big exciting details of the push to add in stimulus checks. And that's what Leader Schumer says to no less than 2 viewers of this channel in the last 7 days, after no less than 1,000 viewers have been told the same message over the last week. We have all over the last 8 weeks that negotiations are near complete for the inclusion of that stimulus check provision. We'll be cutting to all the big money that is available still for you as you can go into a new week coming out with a week of $80,000 in your pocket, $100,000 in your pocket, even $120,000, because that's what this channel is about, getting you big sums of money. And I'm going to show you how you get these big sums of money right here, right now, not 5 weeks from now, not 5 months from now, but right this week. It's a big morning and it's a big day because the toast is toasting, the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here, and the breaking news starts right now on Mornings. Hey, good morning, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day wherever you are. The weather got a little bit warmer back here on the coast. Live with you on Mornings LA from Santa Monica, California. In this fourth stimulus check update of 2021, so much great news. As viewers of this channel are looking to receive upwards of at least $15,000 under all these $3.5 trillion of checks passed. A House subcommittee passed $3.5 trillion of checks 2 weeks ago, and we'll go over those clusters one at a time and each of these checks that you're getting in this now passed recon set for a vote. And yes, we now have a vote date for that set. And we have a world exclusive about the seniors' money in this recording coming up. It's brand new on Mornings. Then we'll be going to the inclusion of other items because they represent nothing's coming out. So what are those other items they could still include? IRS stimulus checks. So says Leader Schumer. Yeah, Chuck Schumer. I'll go over the incredible great news and the message from Bernie Sanders' office about this as well. Then we'll be going over what they can make changes on the back end. But then the big, exciting, great details is that there's still fortunes of money for you to get for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, homeowner repairs, homeowner appliances, clothing, food, and more. I'm going to show you all this big money because financial independence starts right here and financial independence continues right here. And this is Mornings LA. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. You know what? This channel started with me getting viewers $25 million of EIDL, and every week we get more people, more money, whether it's rent or utilities. I have no idea how much money viewers are getting now. This channel may be upwards of $35 million that viewers have gotten, but I'm going to ensure that you get some money this week. And so get that pen and paper ready. Stay to the final 15 minutes of this video. We got money for you to get today and this week as well. Like the video and consider becoming a member. Let's cut to the incredible details. First, with that $3.5 trillion recon passed. 2 weeks ago, a House subcommittee passed your $3.5 trillion recon. And yes, almost all viewers of this channel will qualify for at least about $15,000 of items in this past recon. I've been able to sort of go through these numbers before. Under third stimulus, when third stimulus passed, I said you could get $15,000. I undervalued it, as you know now, because now in retrospect, viewers on average from this channel got $80,000 from third stimulus recon. But when we look at the fourth stimulus recon, the $3.5 trillion that's passed, it's at least $15,000 for you just to start. Sound good? It is good. Let's go over each of the clusters, starting with the first one. Hazard pay and $4,000 of elder care got in this first cluster. There are several clusters of checks that they got into this recon, and we're going to go over the first one. Hazard pay. This is the earned income tax credit. They broaden the eligibility so more people qualify for it and increase in the payout for essential workers every year. Then they got up to $4,000 a year for elder care, up to $4,000 a year for young children's care. Then they got Homer payers free in low-income communities. Huge. Then they got money for college students, college grants, and university grants, and the Pell Grant made tax-free. They got up to $51,000 of monthly stimulus checks with the CTC broadened the child tax credit. How much? Up to $300 every month, every year, up to 18 years, which is $51,000 of monthly stimulus checks. Then they got money for bikes, cars, and trucks, all electric and all U.S. auto manufacturer. First, up to 50% of the purchase price of a new electric bike, then up to $7,500 for a new electric vehicle, personal use, a little bit more for business use, and a little bit more for a truck. Wow. With that, I'm so excited. Let's go right into the second cluster checks pass. Part of the $3.5 trillion recon, and these are checks which are going to pay you a lot of money. We have in here more home repairs and now paid leave. Well, let's go to them. Remember, all these clusters, all this recon money is for everyone. Red, blue, purple states, Republicans and Democrats, every state, SSI and SSDI, single individuals, married couples, everyone qualifies for these items. And let's start with the paid leave and paid family leave. How much is this? A lot. Up to $1,700 a week if you make $70,000 or more per year, split in half. $800 a week if you make $35,000 or more per year, split in half. $400 a week if you make $15,000 a year. What is paid family leave? You have to stay home because your wife is pregnant. Medical leave, you have to stay home because your son broke his leg. Then they got free money in there to weatherize your home. Weatherize your home is like in your tornado zone or you have a fire area. Yeah, free money to weatherize your home. Definitely needed when the moderate Democrats are on the roof. As I always say, keep the moderate Democrats out of the House, and whenever possible, keep the moderate Democrats out of the Senate. There you go. They got checks in the second cluster for child care programs, household tax credits, and then cheaper Medicare, checks for dental, checks for vision, checks for hearing care, and then pre-kindergarten, totally free, and tuition-free community college. Yes, you'll be able to go to community college and take that very popular class called What the World is Lalate Saying? 101. It's for people who just say I talk funny. Now you can be fluent in that foreign language called Los Angeles by taking LA 202. Before we got to the third cluster checks, what is Congress doing? Well, we got a date. We got a date, not a romance date, no, a voting date, a date. And that date is by Halloween. Nancy Pelosi, the President of the United States, saying that the vote on your recon will be by Halloween and the same date for the roads and bridges. Roads and bridges and recon by Halloween. Over the weekend, I had someone send me a message say, you said there's a vote on Halloween. They can't vote on Halloween because it's a Sunday. I didn't say on Halloween. I said by Halloween. Trick or treat. Don't eat too much candy. You miss my pronouns in the sentences. There we go. We got to the third cluster of checks. And those third cluster of checks are deliciousness. These are the president's checks, and he likes them because they're instant savings to you. And guess what? I got a world exclusive on this one as well. Checks for seniors and checks for free internet. And you're hearing something brand new on this one on mornings. Free school meals for all checks, tax break checks, cheaper prescription medication checks, checks for free internet, checks for farmers, checks for green energy, checks for workers like independent contractors, and checks for seniors like dental, vision, hearing care, and lowering the eligibility age for Medicare. Here comes the world exclusive, because I don't know if I've seen it anywhere else, but I think this is the first place you've seen it, which is a source now tells Lalate that the Medicare age they're looking to drop it to is 60. Lorica, longtime viewer of this channel, went back to the conversations with Bob Casey, who's a Democratic senator, and went through what he briefed people about negotiations on that recon this last week, and she saw that they're considering the Medicare age dropping from 65 to 60. There you go. Two of the checks in this third class the president like and I like because they're instant savings to you. First, cheaper prescription medication. How this work? You go to the pharmacies and you go to the pharmacy. Hello, Mr. Pharmacist. I have a really bad headache. Oh, what's wrong, Allie? You've been listening to the moderate Democrats? Yeah, I have. How do you know that? Do you have any solution for that, Mr. Pharmacist? Yes. Seats for stimulus. Thank you for watching my channel. I need a prescription. Yeah, so it'll be $40. You take two $20 bills out of your wallet. Then when you go to refill the prescription, it may only be half that amount of money because they're going to slice the prescription medication prices, keeping an instant savings in your wallet of $20. Then they're going to offer free internet nationwide. Every city, county, and states will be given big money from the federal government to launch their own free internet companies called T-Mobile or something. All you have to do is reach out and get the username and password for the Wi-Fi connection. Now, there's a viewer that sent me a message that said, yes, but they'll have to send you a router also, Ellie. I know, but it messes up my joke. There's no router jokes that are very funny. So yeah, all you have to do is reach out and get the username and password. Username is Cinema No More, and password is DC Reese or Lobster 202. Mitch Lobster 202. There you go. In a second, we'll be going over more about what's going on with that recon. But now let's turn to the surprising great news about that IRS monthly stimulus check. Now let's back it up so remember where we are and where we are going forward. We have a past recon in that is law. That is the recon procedural. Recon procedural. Call for a vote in the House, call for a vote in the Senate. 3.5 will be the recon. The tow truck has passed over the finish line. Then it put the tow hitch onto the tow truck. It's recon substantive. The recon substantive is what to do with the 3.5 trillion. And 2 weeks ago, that House subcommittee passed that 3.5 trillion recon. Now, it is not a bill. It is a package. It's not a bill yet because it's in a subcommittee. It doesn't become a bill until it goes onto the House floor. When it goes on the House floor, then it's called for a vote. It can still get modified on the House floor. Now let's understand where things are going and where things are heading. First, with the recon package, it does not have stimulus checks in there. They can be added in there. And no less than 1,000 viewers this channel. It may be several thousands of viewers this channel by this point because Sanders' office reports 1 million calls from this channel. So it's somewhere between a couple thousand to 1 million. I have no idea how many it is. Viewers have been told by those legislators that a stimulus check provision is going in there. Casey, Coons, Warren, Sanders, Schumer on the Senate side and on the House side, AOC, Omar, Jalapal, and Pelosi have told viewers this channel they're adding in a stimulus check provision in there. And that's what they said they can do. And not only about your stimulus checks. They said it's a package. We can still add stuff in there, says Nancy Pelosi, Sheila Jackson, and even the president. If they add it in there, then it's added in there before it becomes a House bill. If it's not added in there and you look at the House bill, they can still amend the House bill. Remember, they have a few hours and a few days of voting on the House bill. They can amend it, AOC, Omar, Jalapal, to add in that provision of the stimulus checks. Let's say the House doesn't take care of it. Guess what? You got the best thing working for you. The senators voting last. The senators vote last in a 2-day event called the Vote-A-Rama. That Vote-A-Rama is where they introduce amendments, aka changes to whatever's given to them from the House. I don't like this thing from the House. I want to change something. Who determines when things are voted during that Vote-A-Rama? Chuck Schumer. Who determines which items are called for a vote during the Vote-A-Rama? Chuck Schumer. Who determines when things are called for a vote? Chuck Schumer. And which guy in the Senate says he's inserting a stimulus check provision no less than twice to viewers of this channel in the last 7 days? No, not just that guy. I know you're going to say Bernie. Not just Bernie. Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer going into the weekend told her, not directly, his staff told Debbie Applegate he's inserting that fourth stimulus check provision. His staff also told Donnie's wife last week, it's going in there. That's on top of Schumer. That's on top of Sanders and Warren and other senators like Casey and Coons. And then we get even better news on top of that. A top aide, one of the lead aides from Bernie Sanders' office, reached out to a viewer of this channel to follow up on your advocacy. I had told you last week that Sanders' office in DC is now keeping track of your advocacy for inclusion of a stimulus check to show it during the negotiations of where to modify the recon. Well, it got even better. Here's a follow-up on that exclusive. A top aide in Bernie Sanders' DC office. This is an aide. This is not a staffer. This is not a secretary. This is not the person who buys the red shirts for the host. This is a top aide. Reached out to a viewer of this channel. And here's what the viewer of this channel explains what was said during the conversation. The top aide from Sanders' office reports that through yesterday, this is last Friday, they had received 1 million contacts from Lalate and the Purple Power, and the advocacy is making huge waves through the Senate. This is the first time many of these elected officials in the Senate and the House and their staff have ever truly heard from the people. And now, not only have they heard with heavy hearts, but a renewed sense of urgency to get help out to us, to help us for our good work. Our advocacy has been so strong, so heartfelt, and so polite, and not just for ourselves, but also for our communities. Wow. This is not anything you're going to see anywhere else because it's about you. It's about this family, it's about this community, and it's about getting things over the finish line. And the finish line is in front of us, and I'm going to go over more about that finish line as we continue this morning's LA broadcast. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds with more exciting details of what's unfolding. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LA Daily for the excitement of the new LA live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LA at 9 a.m. Home LA returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LA at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LA Late. And the excitement continues right now, live from Santa Monica, as Mornings LA continues. The toast is toast and the butter is buttering. And how's the weather where you are? Jump in the live chat. We got more coming up in this incredible recording as Nancy Pelosi and the president set a date by Halloween for your recon vote. Wow. Do you have your Halloween gift, your Halloween costume picked out? Post in the live chat. Maybe you're going as Nancy. Maybe you're not. In this recording, we're going to go over more about what they're saying with those IRS stimulus checks, and then we'll be cutting back to that recon, because guess what? So far, all these clusters are setting up to pay viewers of this channel at least about $15,000. And I'm going to show you how under third stimulus, I was able to get viewers $80,000 and can still get you that money this week. I'm going to show you how to get big sums of money this week, so get that pen paper ready, because money is money. And financial independence starts right now. We're going to go over all the big sums of money that are paying out this week, and that is available for you right now. Red states, blue states, purple states, Republican, Democratic, rich and poor. It is all available across the board for all different walks of life. We'll be turning to what's happening this coming week and why you are part of the equation as well. We got a lot coming up, and we have a big week ahead of us with no less than 20 days from the vote. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of the channel that's making history. This is the channel that's advocating for your money. This is the channel that's showing you how to get money. If there's one thing I do, is I get people money. And in this recording, I'm going to fight to get you some money this week, not 3 weeks from now and not 20 days from now. this week. So get that pen and paper ready. We're going to go over all those details. Subscribe, like this video, and consider becoming a member. Coming up next is noontime at 11 a.m. This video will automatically take you there. Then the 1 o'clock show, the 3 o'clock show, and then Evenings LA. Let's cut back to the big society details of what Sanders' office is now doing in view of you and your advocacy. Sanders' office basically says that staffers from Senate offices are not used to getting advocacy like this. They usually get lobbyists, and I'm going to go over who lobbyists are. They're professionals who are hired from airline companies or banking industry to fight for legislation. You are fighting for your legislation, which is that IRS stimulus check provision. And now they're overwhelmed by your advocacy. That advocacy is important because the recon is still in flux. Yes, all these items are passed and all those items are staying in there. But even Maxine Waters is worried that items will not stay in there and that items will come out of the tow hitch. I'll explain what the changes are as proposed and what the changes still may be of concern for Maxine Waters and others. But this is huge for you. And let's start back with that stimulus check. It's important to understand that advocacy starts here, and let's go over where this recon is. First, the recon is a package, and that recon has $3.5 trillion of programs in there for you. That'll pay most of the viewers of this channel at least $15,000, application generally based. Now, in addition to that, they still have the ability to add stuff in there. And you have several places in which those members of Congress can add things in there. On the House side or on the Senate side. First, they can add it to the recon before it becomes a bill for the House. Then, if it's not in the bill and it's called for a vote on the House floor, they can make changes on the House floor and add it in there. Let's say they still don't add it in on the House side. Then the Senate side can still add it in during a vote-a-rama. And that vote-a-rama goes at the very end. Now, here's what's important, is that over the last 8 weeks, thousands of viewers of this channel have been told by Casey, Coons, Warren, Sanders, Schumer, AOC, Omar, Jalopal, and Pelosi that they're adding in a stimulus check provision. We'll be adding it in. But as you can see later in this video, Maxine Waters is worried that her provision for housing that's already in there will get taken out. So it's a battle to get things added and stay added. It's a battle to get things in there and stay in there. And that's where advocacy starts. And it started 8 weeks ago on the channel. It said pick up the phone and advocate for the inclusion of those IRS stimulus checks. And WR did. He picked up the phone, called Senator Chris Coons, Democrat, Delaware, Joe Biden's oldest confidant. And Coons' office said, yes, I'm inserting that monthly stimulus check. Then 3 weeks ago, I started showing you a series of exclusives. One, I told you that the House would write the legislation in a subcommittee. They did. And that's what passed 2 weeks ago with Sheila Jackson, the number 2 in the Progressive Caucus, writing in and calling for the vote that Saturday night. Number 2, I told you the House subcommittee would vote on it first. They did. And lastly, I told you the Senate would vote last. They are going to. Bernie Sanders is important part of the equation, I told you then. And that's when Sanders said a key quote. He said that unlike prior Senate budget chairman, I like to get out amongst the people when doing a recon. I said if you listen to those words, that means he wants you to advocate. He wants you to pick up the phone and advocate to him what you want in there. And Margaret heard me, Lynn Glenn heard me, and Brother Joshua also heard me. They all picked up the phone and they advocated several weeks ago. And all were told that that stimulus check provision is going in there. Now let's go over what is advocacy and what is not advocacy. Advocacy involves telling your unique story with a series of sentences that all end in periods, no question marks. Everyone has a unique story why they need money. It may be financial, it may be business, it may be medical, it may be your town. I need it because of what's going on with my family. I need it what's going on with my divorce. I need it because of what's going on with my sister's brother. I need it because of my legs or my arm or my back. I need it because this is what's happening in my town or my business. Everyone has a unique story. And that's what Sanders' office says they have been so overwhelmed from LA's viewers. I trained you to pick up the phone and tell your unique story because They don't know your town most of the times. They have never heard of your town or visit the town, so they don't know what anything is going on specifically about your environment. But they can all relate to your individual story. And that's why they've never seen advocacy like this until LA came on the scene and got you to advocate. And that is why they're blown away. Let's go over what is not advocacy. What is not advocacy is Dora the Check Explorer. When are we getting a check? When is the check going out? How much is the check? Where is the check? When is the vote? Do I get a check? Do I qualify for a check? Are they really putting a check in there? That's not advocacy. That's Dora the Check Explorer. And let's go back to what that advocacy got us. So I said, pick up the phone and advocate. And Brother Joshua did. Pick up the phone and advocate for his family, his church, his community, and you. He's a 2020 volunteer to the community page, and he picked up the phone and he advocated. And Sanders' office said, yes, $1,000 or $1,300, 3 to 6 months. But Sanders' office says he needs to hear from you. And that's what viewers started to do. I said, pick up the phone and call Sanders' office, and boy, did you ever. It went to Donnie. You met Donnie's wife early in this video. Here comes Donnie. You can see a series of screen grabs from viewers on this channel and their comments either on the channel or in the live chat. Here come those screen grabs, starting with Donnie. Donnie writes, I called Bernie Sanders and I said, what I need it for my water. My city needs, I need to progress for my water and everything. And they said, they're putting a forced stimulus check in there. Hurricane Tina picking up the phone and calling Bernie Sanders' office and them saying, yes, it's going in there. Here's Carolyn Smith advocating. She writes, people are losing their homes. People are losing everything they got. I told Sanders' office and they said, yes, it's going in there. Yaya picked up the phone and called Ron Wyden's office. And Ron Wyden's office said, yes, it's going in there. Advocacy involves telling your story. And the more people you tell the story to, the better. That's what we learned from Will. Tell your story to as many senators' offices as you can. And Will did. He called 3 offices. Janice, who was in the live chat earlier today, she's just wonderful. She's called, I think, 6 offices so far. Here is what Will did in one day. I called Bernie, Chuck, and Liz. This is what Will writes. And I said my situation and how this money would help make a huge impact. And all 3 offices confirmed they're doing it. Liz Warren's office said she wants to do $1,400 to $2,000, 6 to 12 months. And there's Larica. She got Bob Casey's office on the phone. He's a senator. And he said they're negotiating it right now. And there you go. Thousands of viewers, maybe even hundreds of tens of thousands of viewers. I have no track of how many it is, have now been told that that IRS stimulus check provision is going in there. Senators Coons, Sanders, Warren, Schumer, Casey, and Wyden have told viewers this channel it's going in there. And AOC, Omar, Jalapal, Pelosi, and Omar, their offices have told viewers of this channel it's going in there. Now let's make this very clear. These are elected officials. They are making representations to you, the viewer, that they're putting that check, monthly check, in the recon. This is not me making a promise. This is not Lalate, the host, making a promise. I have never called up a senator off the record and gotten a quote off the record and said, off the record, the senator says to me, no. This is the viewers, hundreds of thousands of viewers, or as Sanders' office says, 1 million calls, have called in. And when they advocated, they were told a check provision is going in there. Now remember, elected officials change their mind all the time. The provision could be in there. It could be out of there. It could be put back in there. It could be taken out of there. We have done this long enough. We know how this works. We had the Cash Act that was $2,000 in December, and then 2 days later it became $600. They change amounts, they take things in, and they take things out. So advocacy doesn't stop until the tow hitch and the tow truck are over the finish line. Because remember, that is what we do here. And that's what Mark did as well. He picked up the phone and called Nancy Pelosi's office. $1,000 the first month after the first month of $1,000 a month after the first month of $2,000, said Pelosi's office, and she said, her staff said she's added it in there. Monthly stimulus checks running for several months. And the comments continue to come on in every day. Here's Ida with Omar's office getting the confirmation. Here is Lynn Glenn with Jalapal's office getting the confirmation. And then, yes, going in the weekend, the number one most important guy at issue, Chuck Schumer, saying, his office saying again, it's going in there. So to recap, it's important to understand that you have this massive recon, that's 3.5 trillion, and those clusters of items in there will pay you, at least $15,000. In addition to that, we're trying to get those stimulus checks in there as well. We don't have a bill yet. Do not have a bill yet. And everything that's in that recon is fair game to get removed. So are they getting removed? Are our checks getting added? Let's go over all the details starting right now. Over the last 5 days, the progressives came out and said that everything that's in that recon is staying in there and that we can still add stuff in there. Their comments were the following. If items are in there, they're staying in there, and that there will be no reduction of an item. That the changes we're going to make are on the back end, duration and taxes. So let me explain what they're saying. That's last week. Let's see what happens this week. Last week, the progressives all said, if a program is in there, it's staying in there. We can still add programs in there. And if the program's in there, it's not getting reduced. Here's an example. $4,000 of elder care, they're saying it's not coming out. It won't come out ever. And then they're saying it won't get reduced. It won't become a $500 elder care program. It'll stay upwards of a $4,000 elder care program. So where do they make the modifications as we're looking at a $3.5 trillion recon and people are saying maybe we need to get in the $2 trillion range? Well, the progressives say we have two ways to change that. On the back end, duration and taxes. Let me explain duration first, which is very, very easy to follow. And it was ironic because at the start of last week, I said, they can do this with duration. I said on camera. And then 3 days later, Jalapal said, we can do this with duration. Thank you for watching, Jalapal. No, how did I know this? How did I know she's going to say that? Because Bernie did this before. What's going on? Before we had a recon, Bernie Sanders went into those meetings with those Senate Democrats to say, do you want to do a recon? Yeah, okay, Bernie. What type of recon you're looking at? 7 trillion. Bernie, we're not doing 7 trillion. No. Come up with another number. Okay, I'll cut it in half. I'll do 3.5. Deal. They called it for a vote on the Senate side. Passed. This is the recon procedural. Called it for a vote on the House side. Pass. Recon procedural became law. 3.5 trillion recon passed as law. Then they started to do recon substantive. Tow truck is passed over the finish line. Now it's time to do the tow hitch. Recon substantive. Called that for a vote in the House subcommittee. Recon substantive, $3.5 trillion passed. So where can they make the changes on duration? It's much like what Bernie did. What I'm going to show you some examples with numbers. I'm not going to say these are exactly how I did it. I'm just using examples of the numbers. Bernie brought his duration timeline in tighter to get to 3.5 from 7. Here's an example of what he may have done. All the programs may have been running 20 years. So, for example, $4,000 of elder care each year that you do elder care, up to 20 years of doing elder care. He may have brought it in 10 years, so suddenly the programs run 10 years instead of 20 years. Half the amount of money, 7 trillion to 3.5 trillion. Very simple. So how can they still bring in the recon from 3.5 to a number in the twos, in the $2 trillion range? By bringing the programs a shorter duration. For example, let's say for the elder care, let's say the elder care is 10 years. They can bring that and all the 10-year programs to half the time, 5 years. And so if you're bringing programs from 10 years to 5 years, suddenly some of the 3.5 trillion recon goes in half. 1.7, done. That's a number the moderate Democrats would do. Done. Simple. Very, very simple. So that's the first way they can fix it. Second way they can fix it is on the back end with the taxes. This one gets a little strange. Why? They're raising two taxes to pay for the recon. Billionaires' taxes and Fortune 500 corporations' taxes. They contend, the progressives, that those two entities are not paying their fair share of taxes. So they want to fix the system. Now, they don't want to not fix the system because they're bringing down the recon price. A little bit of twists and turns. Now, here is a very, very fascinating quote, which is actually about us in a way. Maxine Waters, the esteemed legislator from Los Angeles, House member, and also the chairwoman of the House Financial Services Committee, went to the weekend issuing a statement saying, I have a provision in the recon so far that's passed. That's $300 billion for housing. I'm worried my fellow progressives will take it out. Wait a second, I thought the progressives aren't taking anything out. She, as a progressive, is even worried that her progressive priority will get taken out or get reduced. So she is a statement saying, don't take it out. Shows you how the situation is very much in flux. Now, a fascinating quote going into the weekend by Lisa Rice, President and CEO of the National Housing Coalition, said the following. We have all these coalitions of industry groups and civil rights groups who are beating down the doors of the White House to make sure their provisions stay in the recon. Does it sound like someone? Does it sound like a group? It does. It sounds like us, Purple Power. This is what we're doing. We are beating down the doors of those congressional leaders saying, add in our IRS monthly stimulus checks. As Rice explains, lobbyists are all fighting to keep provisions in the recon, and if something's not in the recon, to add something in the recon. That's why the situation is very, very in flux. The tow truck has passed over the finish line. The tow hitch is attached to the tow truck, but as it's right in front of the finish line, there's other trucks that are trying to get in there as well and say, I want to get into that recon as well. Very much a battle to the finish line. All right, now let's turn to the big exciting details as big money is now available for you right now. Get that pen, paper, and cell phone ready because this is what I do. You know, and looking back over the last year and a quarter, I think I may have gotten viewers close to maybe $45 million. We got $25 million for EIDL. We've got $250,000 for rent last year. We've gotten hundreds of thousands of dollars every week or so on this channel for rent, and we're still doing it. So if there's one thing I know is how to get you money. So get that pen, paper ready because I'm going to get you money right now. This is not money 5 weeks from now, not 5 months from now, and not 5 days from now. It's starting right today. We're going to get some rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, appliances, clothing, food, and more. And it's going to start first with the rent. What's important to understand is I'm going to show you 6 places to reach out to. Reach out to all 6. They have different eligibility. They also have different pots of money. When you hear the keywords, listen to the keywords. Also get ready for the Treasury statement and then get ready for the nonprofits. First, for the rent, you want to reach out to 6 places. Your city hall, your city house authority. Your county hall, your county house authority. Your state hall, and your state house authority. And the keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, or mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. How much is the rent being paid at? Now you see. This is a month ago, and now it has gone to nearly $40,000. Viewers of this channel, because of my recordings, because of my help, because of your ability to grasp and go out and get the money, have now gone from $20,000 for Nisi, $22,000 from Richard, to now $40,000 for Jen for rent about 2 weeks ago. Next, I wanted you to reach out to all utility companies. So if you have 5 utility companies, reach out to all 5. And guess what? Look at these numbers, but now Mark's brother-in-law got $15,000 for utilities. Then I want you to get combo. I want you to get as many items as well because people are getting combos. Here are the combo items across the board: $23,000 for multiple items, $32,000 for multiple items. Lorraine, $105,000. Here's Mark for $19,000. Now, before you reach out for that rent, before you get that phone out and you're ready to call for that rent, I want you to do what I told viewers all last week to do. And that's what Prina picked up on. In the newsletter that comes out Monday through Friday, I have in there the statement from Treasury. I want you to read that statement from Treasury. Treasury sent out additional $13 billion of rent and utilities to every city and county state. I don't care if you're rich or poor, red or blue, they have it. The statement says, Treasury is happy to provide the state and local governments with these additional resources to help Americans time of rental assistance. And here's Prina's message to me on Instagram. She says, hey, Lalate, I want to thank you so much. Without you, I would have not have known about this. You mentioned that extra $13 billion going out to the states, so I immediately pounced and I reached out to City of Austin. I got approved for rent for $6,000 for 8 more months into 2022. Wow. Prina heard me and she went and got that big sums of money. Now let's turn to the money for SNAP. SNAP is money for food. You get it from Department of Agriculture. And how much does it pay? Department of Agriculture SNAP pays a lot of money for food. Here's where it was a month ago. Ooh, wrong graphic. Here is where it was a month ago. And now the money for SNAP has gone to $21,000 in September. But now everyone's benefits are going up an average of 25% lifetime. So Mark's brother-in-law is sitting on top of $26,000 per year. What is SNAP? It is money for food. You get it from Department of Agriculture, and everyone's benefits are going up an average of 25% lifetime. That is huge. Next, the nonprofits. We got 5 nonprofits. And the great thing about the nonprofits is if you have an eligibility problem for getting money for rent and some of these monies from the city and the county, then reach out to all 5 of the nonprofits. Here they are: United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, Catholic Charities, and St. Vincent de Paul. They pay for all the same items that are in the third stimulus, but with different eligibility. Number 2, they also pay for items that are not in third stimulus or not ever going to be offered by the federal government, like small appliances. They often give viewers this channel furnaces and small electric heating devices, also refrigerators. Then they also have included in there sometimes small home repairs. They have helped with homeless people get into shelters, clothing, and other items. So reach out to those nonprofits. Here again are those 5 nonprofits: United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, Catholic Charities, and St. Vincent de Paul. Remember, reach out to also Salvation Army because they're doing holiday gifts now in October. Don't wait to December. All right, then we cut back to the big exciting details of the money coming back for unemployment benefits. Yes, 2 types from your state. Due to overpayment computer error, there it's landing. Average payment is $2,000 to $5,000. Reach out to your state. And then the refund check coming back from the IRS. This is the 2020 tax return. You paid taxes on those unemployment benefits. Average payment is $12,000 to $2,000. Finally, if you've gotten any sums of money, post them in the live chat, because when you post your success stories, whether it's $100 or $10, you inspire other people. Lastly, if you haven't become a member today. The newsletter, the member link is under the video. The newsletter is sent out from me Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alert system and the Lalate alert system, which is also free under this video. It features all the big money that's available for you. Here's what you need to know. This money is available still now. And viewers are starting the week with 0 from this channel and ending each week with big pots of money. You just met Prina. She started with 0 and it was $6,000. We've had Johnny, who started this channel 1 week with 0. By the middle of the week, he and 3 other people got $40,000. 3 people getting $40,000 in 3 days from this channel. By the weekend, Johnny got $80,000 from 7 items. Mark $51,000 from several items. And then Lorraine, who went from $110,000 to $120,000. This is real money that you can get right now. Financial independence starts on this channel, showing you that cash is king. Whatever cash you can get the cash right now. Get everything that's available for you. Lean on the nonprofits. Make 3 promises as you go into the new week for yourself. Number 1, get as much money as you can into 2022. Get that rent and utilities into 2022. I have a long-time 2020 volunteer to the community page. She got rent in 2020. She got some rent early in 2021. She just got some more rent into 2022. That's what you want to do. Get these monies and utilities all the way into 2022 as far as you can go. Number 2, lean on the nonprofits because it's a little chilly outside, but it's not winter yet. The nonprofits are doing quick turnaround times right now for these items. Big success stories being reported from United Way and Salvation and St. Vincent de Paul. Quick turnaround times. But as soon as it gets cold, as soon as you blink and it's cold, they get swamped and their turnaround time is very slow. So get those big sums of money. And with that, we got so much coming up throughout the day and all this big week. It's a huge week because with a recon, 3.5 trillion, everyone's battling to keep their stuff in there. Everyone's battling to add stuff in there. Not bill yet, certainly not law yet, and a lot of steps until it gets over to the Senate, where the Senate has a last opportunity to make changes. The recon so far, 3.5 trillion, would pay viewers of this channel about $15,000 at least. Like third stimulus, which paid most viewers of this channel, if you followed my advice, upwards of $50,000 to $80,000. But we're still battling to get more money in there. because every money we can get in there is better across the board. Coming up next is noontime at 11 a.m. Stay on this video, will automatically take you there. And then we got our 1 o'clock afternoon show, our 3 o'clock afternoon show, and then evenings Lalate at 5. Then our new hit show, Evenings Countdown, which is at 6 o'clock. Street and Stimulus at 7. Sirloin at 8, and then shows at 9, 10, 11:30 as well. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers for YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. We got a big week away ahead of us. So much across the board. You don't want to miss anything. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Casino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with LA for more.